Hey guys, I hope you liked that little dramatic intro. I know I did. So yeah, this is Eco, and I'm going to just start with the story as always. It's a pretty basic story, to be honest. Basically, you play as Eco. You're a young boy who has horns, and your village has, I guess, when you get to a certain age, you get sacrificed, and you get brought to this large castle, actually this huge castle, and you're going to be sacrificed to, I guess, like the demons who live here. And when the game starts out, you wake up in this huge tomb part of the castle, and you see this young girl, who you find out her name is Yoda. You're not Yoda, Yorda, excuse me. And you see her in a cage, and you basically save her, and you want to just get out of the castle with her, and you want to save her. I'm not, it's, there's always that backdrop that, he really cares about her, and I don't know if he loves her, but, he starts to care about her. And, the ending of the game, I was told to, before I do the review, to finish the game, and I'm really happy I did, because you really, in some games like this, you really build a bond with your, with the characters. In this game, it's a very, very strong bond. You actually, towards the end, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but this was definitely one of the saddest games that I've played in maybe ever. I've heard people have cried from it and stuff, but it's a very engaging story, to say the least, and make sure you pay attention to, to the little cutscenes that they do have, but you really get involved with the characters in this game. Okay, so the gameplay is much like a hybrid. You mix these very different styles of gameplay into one, and it's really awesome. One style would be, it has some, I guess, not gonna say hack and slash, but just some, like, I guess, yeah, like hack and slash. You have to, when you fight enemies, you just smash them up, as you're seeing right here. It also has platforming, not in the sense of Mario, but in the sense of like Prince of Persia, maybe. In like an old Prince of Persia game, you have to jump from platform to platform, and hold on to ladders and swing from stuff. It has a great deal of that, and also the majority, the general backdrop of the gameplay is the puzzle, the puzzle aspect. Basically, the entire game is just environmental puzzle after environmental puzzle. So if you don't like environmental puzzles and stuff like that, this probably is not the game for you. There's just little stuff. I have to pull this switch, I have to jump from here to there, and I have to do this, I have to light this on fire, stuff like that. If that's not really your thing, you won't like the game at all. I know I had some trouble with it, and there were some times that I will admit I had to resort to guides, because I was just like, what am I supposed to do right here? The one bad thing I don't like, I hate the enemies in the game, and the other thing I don't like is there's no way that Yorda really can defend herself. It's much like in Resident Evil 4, and if you leave the screen, she can still get attacked by enemies, and it gets very frustrating when you've been playing something for like 20 minutes, and you got pretty far, and then you leave the screen, she gets attacked, and you can't get back in time. It's really the only gripe I have with the gameplay in the entire game. Everything else is just fantastic. And I will go down to say, as these are the most annoying enemies as I've ever had to fight in probably any video game. They just drove me crazy. There's a couple weapon upgrades, nothing too drastic, and yeah, but I just love the mix of all different styles of gameplay into one. It really makes for some really fun gaming. It's a really fun gaming experience. Okay, so the presentation, the one piece of advice I would give you, try not to play this on an HD TV. It doesn't really look that great. The game was, I read online, was designed to be a PS1 game, so it got pushed back to PS2. Don't play it on a HD TV. If you have a regular standard TV, play it on that. But that's the only thing I have to complain about that with. Everything else, the animation is very fluent, looks very realistic, jumping across like a little gap and stuff like that. Everything looks really great. The very few cutscenes that there are look awesome as well. The sound in it, it's weird, but I love the how it sounds when Eiko calls for Yorda. I don't know why. It's just really good. Her animations are awesome when he's pulling her and stuff. It's just fantastic. I really can't say enough about that. You know, just the echoes, and as you just heard there, if you could hear, the atmosphere of the castle is just great. It's just really good. I mean, I can't really complain about anything. Everything just sounds good. The water looks very good. When you do come to the very few times in the game that you have to you know, deal with water. There's some waterfalls and some swimming and stuff like that. Everything for, you know, for a very early PS2 game, and again a game that was supposed to be on PS1, it looks fantastic. The game was released in 2001, you know, which is very early in the PS2's life. But yeah, the game, you know, its presentation is just great. Okay, so Eco's pretty much turned into like a collector's item on the PS2. I know that if you can find it at GameStop, they still have it very cheap, but I paid about $40 or $50 for this game, and as much as I loved it, people say that it's like their favorite game of all time. I can see why. The story is just so captivating and awesome. The gameplay is really fun too, but it's a very short game. I beat it. It took me about 8 hours to beat. And there's a lot of backtracking and stuff like that. It's very easy to get frustrated and lost with, you know, especially when if you don't play it for like 2 days, you're like, alright, what do I have to do now? And it could get tough. But if you just keep playing it, you'll have a blast with it. And the other bad thing that's tough, you know, it's tough to really love about it, there's no replay value, basically. You know the story and you know all the puzzles. But other than that, if you're looking for a really good experience with just a very charming story and just stuff like that, I don't know, it just has a very nice charm to it, then definitely check out Eco. The puzzles are a lot of fun. The combat is alright, it gets a little annoying, and the platforming is great, so I'm going to have to give Eco a 9.4 out of 10. Just there's no replay value and stuff like that, which kind of hurts it for a lot of people. But it's just awesome. Again, the story is just fantastic. There's, you know, the good definitely outweighs the bad. So if you can find this for a reasonable price, definitely pick it up. It's a great game to add to your collection. Thanks a lot.